Hi, just before we start the video, I just want to nip in quickly say, I'm not going to be in the comments section for this video because I'm going away for a week. So if you're wondering where I'm at, it's just I'm not going to be on YouTube for a whole week because I thought if I'm going to go on holiday, I'm going away from everything. So I'm taking a break, this break from YouTube as well. There is a video next week as usual, but I'm just not going to be in the comments of anything for this whole week. So do feel free to leave a comment. I'm just not going to be straight away replying. I'll be replying next week when I get back. But hope you have a good week and on with the video. Hi Shell and all you other wonderful weirdos watching. Okay, so today I am currently crouching quite down because we're on the floor right now in front of my wardrobe. You can thank Shell for this actually. I was going to skip this part of the packing process, but we're on the phone talking about our Amsterdam trip as we have been for the past since last March actually, because that was when we were at Amsterdam the last time and we were planning it again for this year whilst we were there. Last phone call I had with her, she was actually saying it would be interesting for me to talk about how I pack minimalistically, because the last March when we were at Amsterdam, she had this big hulking suitcase and I just had two small bags, and so she thought it would be interesting for me to talk about it. So I wasn't going to do that originally. I was just going to talk about the bit that's going to be pulling my hair out, but we'll get to that. This bit is kind of easier. Despite looking like an array of stuff, this is pretty minimalistically. All I have to do is shorten this down, maybe a bit more, but honestly I think I've got my selection as is. But I think I've hit the 3-2-1 in minimalistic packing terms, because I think it's 3 tops, 2 bottoms, 1 dress, I think. Maybe, but it's just enough to comfortable wearing something. Realistically, I would wear the same thing all week, but I can get away with that because I don't really see that many people outside of work, and then I'm already wearing a uniform, so I can get away with it in everyday life. But this is a holiday and I'm not going to be able to get away with it that often. So I've just devised a simple, I don't know, maybe like advice thing, like just a few bits like of advice on how to go about packing as few things as possible so that you've got space in your suitcase, so that if you do see something there you can still like get it and fit it in your suitcase type thing. Okay, so for any, I'm guessing I should probably switch how I'm talking about this, and I'm going to use the language away mission since it matches my top. Okay, so planning for every away mission, you've just got to, I would definitely start with the shoes, just because if you know what you want to be doing whilst you are there, then you can plan your footwear. You're gonna be on your feet, or are you gonna be like lounging around by the pool kind of thing. For me, when I'm not with Shell and the child, I'm going to be in museums, walking around, maybe on a bike, I don't know. I'm very active in my holidays compared to, you know, relaxing. Although I do like to spend like one of those days relaxing. I have 2 pairs of footwear, my running shoes, because that is very versatile. I will be going for a run anyways, because I'm a mad person who runs at 5 o'clock in the morning, regardless of where I am at. I did it whilst on my last Amsterdam holiday. I did it in Norway, and I'm going to be doing it again in the exact same route I took last time, except this time I'll actually be able to see my route, because in March 5 o'clock it's pitch black, whereas in May 5 o'clock we'll actually have the sunrise, so I'll actually be able to see where I'm going. So, and those running shoes are pretty still held together. They're not falling apart, they're in good condition, so I can use those whenever I'm with the child, who shall remain nameless for privacy's sake, by the way. I'm not just disrespecting. I'm just protecting my friend's child, my godson. I just in case you were wondering. However, it is the child with a capital the. But yeah, so activewear, definitely clothes that will actually benefit like movement and playing run around with a child. So I have t-shirt and shorts to go with these running shoes, as well as my own running gear. I even have a full pair of jeans, even though it'll be like late May, pretty hot summer day. It does not mean we are going to be exempt from rain. So it's always best to do that. Plus it means I can actually take them on the plane and be like warm, because every time I'm on plane it chills out my bones. So the second piece of advice would be your plane outfit. What would be best for that? And how much layering can you do on your travel outfit? Because the more layering you can get away with, the more you don't have to pack. I don't actually have to layer this time because all I have is a pair of jeans, a vest top and a blouse on top. I don't need much else. The minimalist advice I have is a lot of minimalists will like do the numbers like 3, 2 and 1. I actually do have that here, so it's like 3 tops, 2 bottoms, 1 dress, and the whole purpose is that you can mix and match. I mean, my 2 bottoms are a pair of jeans and a pair of black shorts. I mean, black shorts can go with any of what I've picked out. I'm not counting the vest top because it can be used as an undershirt. So I've got the top, the t-shirt and another button down blouse, and they're just nice things to have. And I've got one bright purple colour of a dress that could be paired with this if I like keep it unbuttoned and I tie a knot in it. So it's kind of like one of those things where can you mix and match even with the dresses that you take. But yeah, now I've just got a Marie Kondo fold. So I'm not showing how to do that. No. Not happening. And you're also on YouTube. You can just type that in, how to Marie Kondo fold, and it'll give you a video on how to do that. And it does quite nicely that things fit in your suitcase. So I'm just going to do that real quick. Okay, so it actually fits. Can you believe it? I can actually. So I've literally just got my running top, blouse one, t-shirt, dress, my towel, my denim shorts, my running shorts, and this thing is just currently got my undershorts like that I would wear underneath my dress because I'm afraid of the wind blowing my dress up, so I like to, you know, make sure nobody's gonna see anything. This is literally where I keep socks and pants and stuff, so I'm not gonna pack those yet, and I'm not showing that on camera. But yeah, that'll go there when that is done, and I could probably even put that on top of there and it be like folded down pretty nicely and even. This is what I'm gonna be taking out and about, but I also have all of this space to make me think I need a smaller suitcase for this, which I might have, but I don't know if it's like big enough for this. Honestly, I don't know. But I have not yet packed toiletries, and I won't be doing that until like the night before because I need my toothbrush. But I don't know which book I want to take. Okay, so I have officially downgraded my suitcase into a smaller suitcase just because if I have half a compartment that's completely empty, I will take all of these. Because I'm such a mood reader, I do not know which book I want to start. Let's go through this, shall we? I am not at all going to put a book in my suitcase. No. That is specifically reserved for the book I'm going to get whilst there, if Shell remembers. Because she said she might forget my birthday present, but it's fine because my birthday is not till July and I am going home in July. It's just that she's letting me have it early. So that's like the big one. Sunrise on the Reaping is a giant hardback. So this is what I'm going to be carrying day to day. It will have my travelling sketchbook in here when the time gets to it. All I need is something that will fit in here beautifully and not be too heavy. And quite frankly, I have so much room in here. I don't know why I'm taking it. I guess in case I find a book that I want there. Because, of course, I just want to remind myself I am there Sunday till Friday. That's it. That's all I'm going for. Sunday to Friday. And I don't think I'm going to be reading much on a Sunday because I've decided I'm not going to sleep Saturday night because it's a very, very early flight. And knowing me, I will sleep through things. So, not great at all. So, here we go. So, first off, I'm in the middle, well, not in the middle, I've started reading the book my dad sent me a while ago called Master and Commander by Patrick O'Brian, which is the book series I got him into because I found quite a few of the series in a charity shop and I gifted them to him. He's now gone through and read them and sent me the first two. And this is actually quite a surprise because it is written quite eloquently and normally that's not my cup of tea, but I can't seem to put it down. It's something that I was just like cooking and I was just like holding it there whilst I was just like moving the food around in the pot. It was just something about it. It's just the way it's written. It's not too difficult for my dyslexia to like spend time with it, but at the same time, it's really like that O'Brian has gone out of his way to do all of the research with the Royal Navy in the note at the front, and he's even writing it in the style from back then. So even they're talking like they would back then in the 1800s, because Napoleon Bonaparte is the biggest threat to peace yet seen currently in this. This is a historical fiction set at sea. So part of me doesn't want to take it, but at the same time, I still want to read it whilst I'm there. That's how surprising this book is right now. But at the same time, I need something light for the holiday. But when I get the Hunger Games sequel, the prequel to Hunger Games, that's going to be easy to read compared to this. So I could, in theory, take it, and it can be my difficult read whilst I'm also reading Sunrise on the Reaping. But I mean, next up we've got the sequel to The Assassin's Apprentice, which I read back in December, and now I really, really, really want to continue with the series. Again, my brain will think this is like, it takes a little work because Robin Hobb's writing is so beautiful, and I will, because my dyslexia does that thing where I can take certain writing styles at different times of the day or different energy levels, where if I need to be in like peak concentration in order to read both of these books, just because it is quite dense it is quite beautifully written, and it requires your full attention because it is just that beautiful. I try and find a different word than beautiful, but I've been overworking this week, so my brain is just like melting with, yeah. So that's the other contender. And then I want to start my Ursula K. Le Guin, which was what I wanted to read this quarter. So I wanted to start Ursula K. Le Guin. So I've got Worlds of Exile and Illusion, which is 3 stories in here. And I'm just like, I want to get cracking in this. However, again, it's not that I don't know Ursula K. Le Guin's writing yet, so I don't know what her writing style is going to be. But the text, I'm just looking at it and trying to read a sentence. My dyslexia doesn't like the font. I did not think that through when I bought this book, but I think that I bought it before I realised that about my dyslexia. But that's another contender. So those are 3 books I really want to get into that are going to be difficult. And I'm just wanting to do it. I want to pack one. I want to pack one of these books. I mean, I could, instead of taking Worlds of Exile and Illusion, take The Word for World is Forest, which is a smaller Ursula K. Le Guin book, and it could be way easier because the font is way nicer on my dyslexia. Just quite lovely. But that's also another option, just to start. But I would also want to do because this is a certain series, because this is the world in which Left Hand of Darkness is, and everybody loves that. And I'm just like, I want to read them in order, which means I would have to start with Worlds of Exile and Illusion, and then the forest one, the world forest. But it's just, so I wouldn't want to start with this one, but it's the better choice. But I want to start with this one. So what is my brain doing to me right now? My brain is also my brain is being even worse to me, because for some reason I want to start Weave World immediately. Look how big this is. I'm going on holiday. And I want to read a brick. There's a freaking quote from Quentin Tarantino on the front of this, and I'm pretty sure on the other Clive Barker book I have a Stephen King quote, which makes me want to read it even more. But I'm going on holiday. I can read it when I get back. But why do I want to pick it up now and then take it on holiday with me? For some reason, I want to read big, chunky books right now, and I'm going away. This is not a good thing. This is not a good problem to be in right now. I found Cloud Atlas in a charity shop recently. I kind of have to stop myself from going to charity shops because I keep buying these books. I wasn't going to buy it originally, but the second time I went in, I decided to read the back. And 6 Interlocking Lives on One Amazing Adventure, 19th century to a post-apocalyptic future. This is just like very intriguing, and it has quite amazing reviews. I want to read it, and I want to read it now. So that's another contender for this trip. The other last contender I have is Mary Shelley's The Last Man. I read the author's note, and it was just like her trip with her partner to Sybil's Cave, and just even that was beautifully written, and I loved it, and I want to keep going. It's a floppy book too, and it's beautiful. I love a good floppy book. Anyways, my dyslexia has no issues with the font, so I could definitely start this one. It is about a apocalyptic fantasy of the end of human civilization, set in the late 21st century. Do you see my problem right now? Do you see my problem? I have 32 amazing books, and I want to pack them all. But I can't take these books with me. I can't. I really can't. Also, I could, in theory, cheat and just take this. I have a few books on here, and hell, I could even go and take this particular e-reader, which is my dad's, that he gave me because he didn't seem to take to reading from this, and he preferred the paper, like physical reading, so he gave me this one. This one I connected up to a set of headphones, and I have audiobooks on here. I could take this, but it's heavier than this one. Yeah. And I want to be light. I want to make sure that I'm not taking really heavy things. So, and quite frankly, I don't think I'm going to have much time to like properly listen and get engaged into an audiobook. So when I do read, I'm going to be sitting down purposefully and just reading. I could leave all of this behind, but Shell said she might forget my book. So, I'm allowed one. I'm taking one, but which one? That's the question. That is the biggest question right now. I've decided I'm not taking the e-reader. But I could. I really could. But I'm not excited about what I've got on there compared to the excitement I have for these. These are what I want and what I want now. All of them at once. I mean, I once had 6 books on the go at the same time, fairly recently, before I started finishing them. Which one? This one. This one is the only one that I haven't finished in that space this time, but I was reading other things. Yeah, and I'm also reading my short stories. If I start a book, which one do I want it to be? Okay, so process of elimination. I should not take a giant book with me. I can read it when I get back. Even the font is screaming my dyslexia is going to have issues. But I don't care. Right now, I quite like the idea of like reading a big chunky book. Process of elimination. I need to put this down. I don't want to travel with a big brick of a book, so it will cause problems. Which means if I take out the next 2, again, this is a big book. It deserves more attention than what I would give it if I was on holiday. I need to sit down at the end of the day and just pour myself into it. I can't give it the half-assed attention I would if I were on holiday. Which leaves 3. Now, which one am I more excited about? Quite honestly, I'm more excited about these 2 than I am Cloud Atlas. Which leaves Mary Shelley and Ursula K. Le Guin. 2 awesome women I love. Haven't gotten to read Ursula K. Le Guin's writing yet. I have read Frankenstein, and no, Mary Shelley can smash it out of the park. Oh boy, I feel like that what's going to do it for me is if I just sit and read the first chapter of both and then make my decision. Yeah. Just looking at these 2 and looking at Master and Commander, I'm more inclined for these 2. Just thinking about what I have felt whilst on holiday. Oh, but then this is difficult. I'm down to 3 options. You thought I was down to 2. No, I've just reintroduced Master and Commander. So I'm going to continue reading Master and Commander over the next few days, and I'm going to see how I feel about it. I'm really dead excited about starting Mary Shelley's The Last Man, but also Worlds of Exile and Illusion. I've heard amazing things about Ursula K. Le Guin's sci-fi. She's like the big name in science fiction when it comes to writing, right up there with Asimov. And yeah. So I've got 2 big OGs, and for some reason I just want to take this along. So I need to pick one of these 2 and maybe decide if I'm taking this one with them. Which I shouldn't, because that means I'll have 3 books potentially when I'm there. I need help. So at least I've whittled the choice down. I mean, all 3 of them fit in here beautifully. I could take all 3, but I shouldn't. But I want to. This might take more thought. I'm going to read a bit more of Master Commander today. I'm going to read the first chapter of both Worlds of Exile and Illusion and Last Man, because I need to pick one of those. I can't take both of those 2. I can't take both of you. I'm sorry. Oh no. I mean, I did say I want to read this in this quarter, and I don't want to put it off anymore. But then there's. So this is like the problem with being a mood reader right now. I want to be reading all of the books at the same time, which is annoying because I'm not going to be able to take them. If I wasn't going on holiday, I would have started them already, right? I would have been able to like pick up both of them and read them at the same time. Well, not like actually reading them at the same time, but like being in them. But I've had to like focus on this holiday for the past few weeks, so I have not had the time to get to know which one I want to have. So first chapter it is, and I'm gonna see which one it's gonna be. And then I've got to read a bit of this to see if I'm gonna take this as well. But I shouldn't. I really shouldn't. I know I shouldn't. I mean, the bag can take it, but it's just I also need to make space for the big hardback that I'm going to be maybe receiving if Shell remembers. Please remember Shell, please. Please remember Shell. Because I have said in a previous video that I am a big Hunger Games fan. I've even got them just here. I've got the other prequel right here, and this is a big hardback and all. So, assuming it's roughly the same size, I could say, right, that's heavy enough. One book left. One book, because I do not want to carry something heavy. I also have a water bottle to consider. I wouldn't hesitate if I was back in uni, because back in uni, I had shoulder strength. I had a backpack on and it carried my laptop, my big heavy university laptop, because that was back when they didn't streamline the laptops. It was just before that, actually. And then there was my sketchbook, my whatever other book I had in there, a lot of my pens and pencils, and my water bottle and my lunch. I would have such amazing shoulder strength just because I would carry that every single day. I don't have that excuse anymore. I can only carry a little bit. I even have a bad shoulder, so I can't do it like I used to. Oh dear, I need to lift weights. I need to lift weights. I need to lift. Do I even lift, bro? So, if this is anything to go by, I need only one more. I have to pick out of the three. Great. I better get reading. The only way to pick is if I read the first chapter and see how I feel about the book going forward. Oh dear.